your support.
We love our sponsors like Foothill Transit. Visit them at foothilltransit.org. Now, for the Morning Buzz, many people are angry about President Trump's presidential order barring some travelers and refugees from 7 countries for 120 days.
Absolutely, and the 7 countries include Syria, Somalia, Sudan, Libya, Yemen, Iran, and Iraq. And the White House says that the executive order was signed in order to reassess the vetting process of refugees. But many people took it to the streets in order to protest across the country. And now Republican political analyst and activist John Goya joins us to discuss the issue. Really, is this a ban? Is it a ban? Tell us about that.
I don't see it as a ban. I see it as us in the United States taking control of who's coming into this country, make sure we vet them properly. I think that everybody who's protesting are hypocrites, probably socialist communists. That's the way I see them. When President Barack Obama, 3 days before he left office, signed a ban on Cuban refugees, specifically doctors, nurses, and sports figures, to appease the communist government of Cuba, where were all these people protesting?
Why was that? Was that to prevent them from coming over and staying in their country?
That's from any doctor or nurse or sports figure, very specific, but all Cuban refugees that usually travel outside of Cuba, and when they get there, they see an American consulate or American embassy or someone associated with the free world, they'll run to it and try and get political asylum.
Right, but wasn't that ban you're referring to as President Obama, he was ending a program that had been in force for quite some time, and given the other changes in the Cuban immigration, that he made that change to be fair, because now more people were coming in and overall. Wasn't that true or not?
No.
Okay.
What started was in the 60s with Kennedy, and then President Clinton changed it with Congress.
Right.
Both presidents always did it through Congress. He did it through an executive order to appease the communist government of the Castros.
Right.
That's why he did it. Where were all these people protesting?
Listen, I'd like to get to this to this issue itself, and you call them hypocrites. But here's the issue: we have people that have been stranded. I heard this morning somebody stranded in a refugee camp. They had been vetted. They'd been there 9 years. They'd been vetted. They'd been told to get ready, to clear, to come on over. So they sold their business. They sold their things, and now they're stuck, not knowing what's happening. Do you think that maybe the administration might have made more provision for people that had already been vetted and streamlined that?
Well, here's my point to you and to the viewers. The bombers in Boston had been vetted by the FBI. The bombers in San Bernardino had been vetted by the FBI and by immigrations. The killer in Orlando had been vetted and examined by the previous administration's FBI. Where did that get us? So if you've been in a concentration camp, as you call it, or a refugee camp.
Refugee
camp.
It's a little different.
My dad was in a concentration camp for 10 years in Cuba, but in a refugee camp for 9 years, 120 days is not going to affect you that much. And you know what? I'd rather make a mistake with a few people and make sure that no one gets in that's going to kill American citizens than take the risk. So I don't think he's doing anything wrong by just saying, let's look at our vetting process.
So you feel like he's looking at safety first, but why these particular countries? And why are some not also included,
you know what?
as Saudi Arabia?
I don't know. I do know that this list was generated by the previous administration, and he took the Obama administration's list of terrorist countries, and he said, we're going to vet these people for 120 days. Let's make sure that whoever comes into the country is going to be here for our safety.
I wish we had more time to talk about it, because when you bring and set that standard up, isn't the administration setting itself up for an opportunity that they vet somebody comes in, there's a terrorist attack, it then blows away everything that you just argued, is to say that their vetting process, somebody's going to get in. Just like if people can break into any system, somebody's going to get in. You're not saying that the president's vetting process is going to be perfect.
Well, and I think also,
I don't think anything is perfect.
Will this create more pandemonium, more issues here with people who are kind of homebrewing their own terrorist events? Will that create more issues with them feeling like their families or their countries are being denied access into this country?
No, I think that is propaganda from the left. I think what people are looking at right now is saying we have a different president in the White House. We have a man who's a lot stronger than our previous president, and we have a man who's looking to make sure that we don't get attacked. Is it a possibility? Absolutely. Nothing is perfect in life. If it was, we wouldn't have these problems that we have today.
So thank you so much for coming. And we've got to have
you.
you back because these are big issues and they're going to take a lot more discussion. And we'll also have to see, because the proof is in the pudding, right? As
That's
to
right.
see what comes. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks,
Thank
John.
you for having me.
Absolutely. Coming up, do you know any teen mothers or someone who is about to become a mother, a young mother?
Yeah, because guess what? Diana Smiley, Executive Director of Generation Her, shares on how they're helping teenage mothers in Southern California. Next.